Hey there, history buffs and curious minds. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a truly poignant and pivotal chapter of American history. We're going to explore a hypothetical question that, while uncomfortable, is crucial for understanding our past. What if you were an enslaved person in the old American South? Now, before we begin, I want to assure you that we'll approach this topic with the utmost sensitivity and respect. Our goal is to understand, learn, and remember, not to sensationalize. Think of this as a journey we're taking together. A story told with facts and empathy, designed to shed light on a profound human experience. Imagine for a moment, waking up not in your comfortable bed, but under a rough blanket in a small, crowded cabin, the sun barely peeking through the cracks. This wouldn't be a typical morning. It would be the start of a life defined by forced labor, a system designed to strip away freedom and dignity. For millions of Africans and African Americans, this was a brutal reality for over 2 centuries. The moment you were born, or perhaps even before, your destiny was not your own. You were considered property, not a person, under the law. This meant you could be bought, sold, traded, or inherited, just like any other commodity. Families were often torn apart, with children separated from parents, spouses from each other, at the whim of an owner. The emotional toll of this constant threat of separation was immense, a wound that never truly healed. Daily life was a relentless cycle of toil. If you were on a cotton or tobacco plantation, your day would begin before dawn and often end long after sunset. The work was backbreaking, carried out under the scorching sun or in chilling rain, with meager food and water, and under the constant watch of overseers or drivers who often wielded whips. Men, women, and even children as young as 6 or 7 were expected to contribute to the labor force. Can you imagine the sheer physical exhaustion, day in and day out, with no prospect of relief or reward? It wasn't just the physical labor, though. The psychological burden was equally heavy. You were denied basic human rights: the right to an education, the right to choose your spouse, the right to move freely. Reading and writing were often forbidden, punishable offenses, because an educated enslaved person was seen as a threat to the system. This suppression of knowledge was a deliberate act to maintain control and prevent uprisings. Yet, even in the face of such overwhelming oppression, the human spirit found ways to endure and resist. Enslaved people forged powerful communities. They developed intricate systems of communication, often through spirituals and folktales, sharing messages of hope and defiance right under the noses of their captors. Music, dance, and storytelling became vital outlets for expression, preserving cultural heritage and fostering a sense of identity. Religion, particularly Christianity, was adopted and adapted, becoming a source of immense strength. Enslaved people often found interpretations that emphasized liberation and justice, providing spiritual solace and a vision of a future beyond their present suffering. Secret meetings, known as hush harbors, were places where they could worship freely, pray for deliverance, and nurture their collective hope. Resistance also took many forms, from subtle acts of defiance like feigning illness, breaking tools, or working slowly, to more overt acts like running away. The Underground Railroad, a network of secret routes and safe houses, helped thousands escape to freedom in the North or Canada, a testament to incredible bravery and solidarity. Rebellions, though rare and brutally suppressed, also occurred, demonstrating an unwavering desire for liberty. Think of Nat Turner's Rebellion, a stark and tragic reminder of the desperation for freedom. Imagine the fear of punishment that loomed over every action. Whippings, public humiliation, and even more brutal forms of torture were common methods used to enforce obedience and terrorize enslaved people into submission. Despite this, the bonds of family and community remained incredibly strong. People protected each other, shared what little they had, and offered comfort in times of sorrow. The resilience of these relationships is truly awe-inspiring. The diet was often meager and unbalanced, typically consisting of cornmeal, salt pork, and whatever vegetables could be grown in small garden plots. Health was a constant struggle, with disease rampant due to poor nutrition, inadequate sanitation, and grueling work conditions. Medical care was often rudimentary or non-existent, leaving many to suffer and die from treatable illnesses. Children born into slavery faced an unimaginable childhood. They were often put to work at a young age, denied an education, and grew up witnessing the constant struggle and suffering of their elders. Yet, they too found moments of play and joy, often inventing games and toys from scraps, demonstrating an inherent childhood resilience. As the years passed, the debate over slavery intensified, eventually leading to the American Civil War. The Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 and the 13th Amendment in 1865 finally brought an end to legal slavery in the United States. But freedom, when it came, was not a simple transition. Generations had been systematically denied education, land, and economic opportunity, leaving a legacy of inequality that would persist for decades and centuries. The scars of slavery ran deep, shaping the social, economic, and political landscape of the nation in profound ways that we are still grappling with today. Understanding this period is not about assigning blame to individuals living today, but about acknowledging the historical truth and its lasting impact. It's about remembering the millions who suffered, honoring their strength, and recognizing how their struggle for freedom paved the way for civil rights movements and the ongoing pursuit of justice for all. So, as we close this journey into the past, I hope you feel a deeper connection to the stories of those who endured slavery. Their experiences remind us of the preciousness of freedom, dignity, and equality, and the importance of never forgetting this critical chapter in our history. Thank you for joining me on this sensitive but vital exploration. If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, please hit that like button, share it with someone who might learn from it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more historical deep dives. Your support helps us keep these important conversations going. We'll see you in the next video.